So we just had a little basketball game. I had to shoot for the EP, but I had to come back and bring y'all this intro. Welcome to the Unbiased Podcast, episode 2. But we don't judge, and you shouldn't either. All right, y'all, have fun with this one. So, we're back. Welcome to the Unbiased Podcast, where we don't judge, and you shouldn't either. On the couch, right? Before I give these two people the floor, they're very special to me, in one sort. In another sort, they talk a lot. So, I just wanted to let y'all know what y'all was in for before I give them the opportunity and the floor. So, without further ado, I'm going to let them introduce themselves this episode. All right? So, you guys got it. Who wants ladies first?
Ladies first, as you should. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Christina. I wouldn't disagree or agree with what he said. I talk, I got something to say sometimes. But about me, I'm from Illinois, 24, in Atlanta, trying to make it out here. I make content. If you like to follow me on Instagram at schmoopy.b. If you like to travel, like to eat, like fashion, follow me. If you're a lock baddie like myself, all my locked up shawties, look for me for inspo.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Cody, a.k.a. C. Swank, a.k.a. Codyocrates, co-host of the Perspective Junkies podcast. I like to think of myself as a mentor to Armani, one of his biggest critics, one of his greatest debaters, a rival, an enemy, an LB, just a combination of all of it. So I'm definitely blessed to be able to join him on his podcast. Glad to be here.
I thank you for coming on my podcast, and I've never been on his.
Hey, this is the second episode. Come on. Fifth on no.
He had to take a drink. But no, I appreciate them so much, and before we get into what we're going to talk about today, I got a couple of questions just to break the ice. And it's Black History Month. So instead of, in the course of Black History Month, I would like to say, if you could have a dinner with one public figure, who would it be? Dead or alive? Now, it has to be somebody from Black history, so it got to be important.
Not it has to be.
Yes.
Okay. I would say Whoopi Goldberg. Why is that funny?
Why? What made you choose Whoopi?
Because I just think that she's a phenomenal woman. I feel like she plays her roles well. She is a well-spoken woman. And I feel like she's went through a lot of adversity. Not going to say I know much about her life, but from what I've seen, I feel like she's a woman that, when the odds are against her, she is resilient and stands strong. So I would love to dive into her life and know, what her thought process was being a young Black woman in entertainment business and where she is now. If she had any lessons to teach anyone or anything that's kept her going,
My historical figure would probably have to be Booker T. Washington. I feel like I was reading this book one time because I worked as like a substitute teacher and had a lot of time because it was just busy work that we were assigned to students. And I read the book because it was relatively short. And I just felt like he had interesting thoughts about how Black people should advance that I think more align with what I think now, but aren't necessarily a mainstream thought pattern in the Black culture today. So I think it would be interesting to talk to him and chop it up, see his ideas about things and how things have progressed since his time.
Me personally, if I could have a chance with any Black historical figure, I would probably choose Robin Harris. If y'all are not familiar with Robin Harris, the comedian, he gave us Baby Kids. If you didn't know that, his bit is what Baby Kids came from. So just to dive into him, he was also the first Black person on HBO to get a special. So a lot of people don't know that. So just to dive into his dialect, and really he was funny as hell. So it was just like, to see what he saw and to, really get that nitty gritty, because folks don't tell you nothing out here these days. So just to get that perspective. Okay, next question, because y'all still a little too uptight. If you were stranded on an island, right? Now this is just hypothetical, and you had to take two things, what would those two things be, and why?
Would it be something I already have, or is it just anything?
Anything. You have two things these two things gonna get you off this island.
Get me off the island?
Yes.
Oh, I'm just trying to survive on that. Okay, you're right. Think big. Okay, you're right. All right.
Think big, please.
I would say, this is hard. Now that you said I'm trying to get off the island, I think I'm trying to survive. All right. A nice size mirror. And
Did you say a mirror?
yes.
It's pretty insane. It's pretty
Why?
insane. I was gonna wait till you pass the mic to say.
I couldn't hold that in.
No, you go to number 2.
Go ahead.
That's already crazy.
Because I was going to say a tool to help filter the water, but that's not going to help me get off. That'll help me survive.
You literally chose death by vanity.
No, because
What?
I feel like with the mirror, I can either use it as a reflection to help signal people, or I can cut it and use it as a knife or something sharp to cut things.
I feel like he threw a monkey wrench by saying you're trying to get off the island.
Yeah.
Because you can't. There's just.
That's probable.
Nothing would be
Yeah,
helpful in trying to get off the island unless you knew a whole bunch of boats are circling. I'm just trying to survive.
I've seen enough movies to where
That's a movie.
two things will get me off this island.
That's a
Okay.
movie.
And what's the two things?
Okay, my two things would be a compass, because I need to know which direction
All I
I
gotta
am.
do is lick and feel the wind.
And the other thing would be a manual to make boats.
Let me see. All right. Now that was kind of crazy. Let me give you 2 reasons why it's crazy. One, I'm imagining that you're on the edge or the border of an island. Like whenever you're shipwrecked, don't you kind of imagine you know where you're at? Yeah, like you already by the ocean. So I'm like, I don't need northwest south to see I am lost. Like you can just put a big L on the compass. That's where we're at. The second thing is a manual to create.
You should already learn.
That's an insane thing. If you have the manual, you'll still have to get the supplies to do it.
We can find the supplies on the island.
For my two things, I think I'm gonna go a knife and a tent. Things that actually help you survive, guys.
So you just trying
You
to
picked a mirror.
You're just trying to make it.
and you picked a manual to help you build the ship. You know what I'm saying?
You're just trying to make it. You just trying to make it to tomorrow.
All listeners, when you think about this, listen to the answers. We're gonna go again. the checklist of answers. She said she wanted to do a mirror. What was your second thing?
I didn't choose because it threw. Well, my other thing would have been a tool.
Oh no, you said a water purifier. Yeah, that's the second thing.
Christina
was the
said a
then-
mirror and a water purifier.
You drinking salt water?
And then yours was Armani what?
I need a compass,
compass.
and a manual to make other boat.
And a boat making manual, and mine was a knife and a tent. So if you ever watch Survival on Netflix or
Who's making it off the
Hulu,
island?
you'll know why my answers
Who's
were
making it off
obviously
the
the
island?
best out of those. Like you guys chose some crazy
You
things.
already used the things you had on the island to make a tent. Like get some. They got some nice leaves. Make a net out of something. Out of
If you had to survive, would you rather be wanting to create a homemade tent, or just, like he said, you can have two items. You can already have a tent. You good. You ain't got to worry. You just got to worry about getting fish, getting food. Or you like, oh dang, like
So you trying to
I only
live
got
on
a
the
water
island.
purifier on me, and I got this mirror to see how I'm looking.
that. You see,
She get in the mirror like I'm starving. She in the mirror like, dang, at least I'm losing a couple of
Picking a
pounds.
mirror is insane. I ain't gonna lie.
But you chose a boat making manual.
Yes.
So I have the instructions. Okay, first things first, get wood.
Where's the? How you gonna,
The wood. That's the issue. You need the resources. Hey man, this is just you guys gave crazy answers.
It's gonna have different parts in it for like if I have sandwood, it's gonna have the different kind of woods in there to make that kind of boat.
You don't need to know that you're on an island. The type of trees is probably limited. You ain't gonna have 3,000 different.
And that would be what section of the manual that I would have to focus on. Okay. And I'm getting off.
Okay. Well, you're not backing down off it. I'll give you that.
I'm standing on business.
Yeah. You standing, but you standing on sand. You standing on that manual.
Okay, so if it feels like you guys could say we broke the ice a little bit, or y'all need a little bit more.
It's your call.
Your call is insane. We just gonna break it to the topic because the topic is going to be interesting because I am really intrigued on what these two people have to think. Because we were talking earlier and the things that they were saying earlier, I really wish they would have recorded that, but something happened. We just gonna put that to that. We just gonna put something happen on that. You know, we're gonna put some crickets in that one, okay? All right. But the topic for today, y'all, is adult friendships. Now, I picked this and I picked these people for a reason, and you're going to see. Now, before I dive into these individual questions, what do you guys think we're going to talk about as far as adult friendships?
So, when you brought that topic up, I'm assuming that we touch on showing up for your friends, what it looks like, the differences between one friend to another, that kind of conversation.
I'm assuming you're going to touch on same-sex friendships versus opposite-sex friendships, the benefits of friendships, what is a friendship supposed to be, you know, are you supposed to hold people accountable or just support them, etc., things of that nature.
Okay. Do you guys both agree that it's a difference between adult friendships and kid friendships?
I do.
You both agree on that sense, right?
Yes.
Do you also agree that kid friendships sometimes cannot translate to adult friendships?
Yes.
Yes, sometimes.
Okay, so here's where I might lose you. In those adult friendships that come from being kids, and this is the first question, how do I tell a friend that I've been friends with for a very long time that I might have outgrown them when they've known me for a long time? They've seen me through my seasons. They've seen me be this age. But they don't understand that they might not fit.
I feel like it's, number one, in your wording. And you don't want, if this is somebody you still love, you still care for, I wouldn't necessarily, outright say that because, in those kind of instances, you'll be like, what do you mean? What attack on my character are you trying to portray? Like, are you saying, like, you're better than me? Sometimes it comes off in that way if you were to say it like that. So I would say, say that we've seen each other grow, we've been there for each other, but I think that we're in different places in our lives. I don't see how, I'm not sure if what we have going on right now plays into the future for either of us sometimes.
Let me add a question to that. What would prompt you to even say that?
To say, I feel like, I'm not sure, I have not currently, but have yet to go through this. But I would say sometimes when, you have done things, you've learned your lessons. And sometimes you have dealing with someone or you have a friend that just is not learning their lessons. And they keep going through the same thing, the same cycle of something. And as much as you want to help them, as much as you want better for them, they are keeping themselves there. And as much as you care for them and you wish they do well, sometimes you feel like you need to remove yourself and save yourself from, the exhaust or from seeing this person go downhill or to be, associated. Because before we talked about association, like being associated with this kind of mindset and this kind of lack, then I feel like that would prompt that kind of conversation.
Well, I guess my answer is a little I guess, controversial because my first answer would be I would never tell them that I've outgrown them. I don't think that's a necessary discussion to have. I think the culture kind of pushes it as though most people do. I'm like, most people I wouldn't say outgrow their friends, specifically if y'all came up with similar backgrounds. Y'all both had a similar socioeconomic status. Y'all both had a similar parental background. Maybe y'all played the same sports. What you're saying is, or what you don't need to say is, maybe our interests differ, which is one thing. Doesn't need to be said. We're just not going to the same events anymore. I don't have to tell you formally, hey, what's up, Mike? Just letting you know I have outgrown your desire to watch basketball. I'm more of a football guy. I'm like, no, it's so condescending to even have the conversation. I would never do it. The second thing for me is if we hit a moral crossroads. And that to me is not outgrowing. It's more so like you have stopped running the race towards being like a good man. And for me, we might get into that later. I'm like, I'm only talking about friendships with other men. Like I wouldn't say I'm keeping a large stockpile of female friends. I really don't encourage that for men, but we'll let Armani, speak his piece on that. But I would say for my friends, it's more so I say a standard for myself, and I'm okay with my friends of my group adding to their standards because maybe they have something that I miss. And then we just all aim and run towards it and push each other when you fall. So we might say, hey, we're going to all be working men. If there's a man that loses a job and then does not strive to get the job, well, warning, hey, man, get right. Then it's like, okay, you're not invited to the cookout next time because you're deciding to be a man that doesn't work, that's not ambitious. If we say, hey, everybody going to be good dads in this chat, like, everybody going to be active. You're going to stay with the mom. Don't be abusive, whatever the case may be. And you decide, oh, man, she's just not my vibe. I'm just falling back on the whole family thing. I'm like, oh, okay, you're not invited to the cookout because I'm not going to be associated with that. But I wouldn't say it's outgrown. It's more so like you stopped running. Like we're all running life and you literally said, leg cramp. And you walked over to the sideline. I'm not going to tell you. It's more so just implicit in my stepping back. You know what I'm saying? Like outgrown, I don't know. I can't describe a relationship where I've explicitly had to state, oh, I've outgrown someone outside of romantic. I think that's just for romantic relationships. Like, oh, we're not in the right, because you're so intimate. Friendships, I'm like, it's supposed to be a different type of love. Like, you know what I'm saying? They 5 types of love in the Greek language. It's not eros. It's not romantic like you and your girlfriend. It's something different. You don't have to say, I've outgrown you. Why do I have to tell you that? You know what I'm saying? Like we're going to play 2K and now I don't have to tell you because we ain't playing 2K no more.
The reason you might have to tell them is because, and I'm going to dive into this a little bit later when it comes to men versus women friendships. It's like a secret hidden message that men try to portray. Like they be like, yeah, I ain't inviting him no more. He just need to get it. And it's like, okay, I didn't hold him accountable for what he did or what happened so he can correct it. I just left that unhidden message out there. Like he might not be able to start in the game no more. He ain't starting 5. I put him in the back. But that's the hidden message he just has to understand. He didn't get that check because I believe that people come from different backgrounds. So what might be right for him might be wrong for you. But you learn that and you teach people if you want them around. And so it's like in the sense of like, okay, well, I don't have to tell him. It goes being unsaid and the message can be mixed.
And I'll let you answer too. But for me, I think that would be a difference between men and women. For me, as men, we're reading the situation, and a lot of times we'll come to a group opinion that is implicit. We don't necessarily have to speak on it. But if the group decides that this is the opinion of this person, that is the cumulative wisdom of 5 different men. So, for example, there's certain men, this man is not emotionally mature enough to check him. Every conversation with him, you have to be prepared, we're going to fight or we're going to not be friends forever. He's not built to speak to him like that. A girl who he loves can't do it, let alone us. We just guys. So we'll talk about it in the air. We'll say, hey, man, we got to make sure we working, stay on your jobs. But if he fails in that, he won't get a personal invite. You have to actually work up the reputation that I'm a man that can take criticism. So another guy can take criticism. So he gets 5 chances. Hey man, you need to work out a little more. You're getting a little big. He said, oh, okay, my bad, bro. You right. He goes to the gym. He said, hey man, go put some job offers out there. He said, oh yeah, you're right, bro. I need to get off my ass. He's proven himself mature, whether it be through football, whether it be through when we was in college, whatever the case may be, that he can take this critique. This man can't. It's the same way when I talk to my wife, or people can talk. If you have a romantic relationship with a woman, I think that is the best advice that a man can give that sometimes is difficult for girls to see. We go to a dinner party. I hung out with 5 of these girls. I say, these 2 girls are jealous. Don't ever tell them very personal information, ever. I don't need to hang out with them for 2 years. You hung out with them in high school. I'm telling you right now. Sandra and Taylor, jealous. Don't tell them stuff. Watch them. These 2 girls right here, these are good friends. They'll probably be at the wedding if we make it there. These 2 girls right here, watch them. That's my call. Like, I'm not necessarily, and it's an instinct. It's visceral. I'm not necessarily needing results. You go and you judge that. As a woman, you go into the mirror like, is he right? Is he tripping? Am I tripping? That's up for you to do. I'm just going to tell you what I see. And likewise, she tells me what she sees in my partners. Hey, this guy right here, he's not ambitious. He's a loser. I'm like, what? Trey, I love Trey. He's like, yeah, no, Trey, no. She might tell you, hey, Mike would try to kick it with me. He giving me eyes and weird stuff. He's like, Mike? Like a girl, she's supposed to be like an eagle looking at your friend group. A man is the same way. With men on men, the just like what you said, I'm like, we're not going to get to the point where I confront every man. Not every man gets that personal invitation. It's almost like all of your business associates, I might be 100 men. Split that into your top 20. Then of that top 20, I'm like, who gets enough text group chat or like personal time? Like that might be top 10. Now that top 10 is those men who have earned, I'm like, I know he can handle it. Not every man can handle it. Some men, they'll really spaz if you just say, hey man, you might need to buy some new sneakers. Your sneakers getting a little butt. He ready to fight. He's not ready. He has to find it from, hopefully God can give it to him. His mom can give it to him. But I'm not going, we're not about to be in there because I'm like, he's too stressed.
So you allow him to continue to be in your life?
No.
Without, so you don't?
No, I don't.
So he's just supposed to understand that we don't hang out no more. Because of his ways, he's supposed to understand it. If we are men, right, we are men who's supposed to teach other men who might not know stuff. He might have grown up thinking that attitude was okay.
All right.
So who's going to tell him if not his friend?
It's and the way I would say it is this, and my bad if I'm hogging a little bit. It's more like self-probing. We're verbally slapboxing. So when I say this, it's not that, out of nowhere I just decided he was crazy. That means we crack jokes. I saw, you got upset with a level 1 joke. This wasn't your mama. I wasn't talking about your girl. I'm like, this was nothing. It was a small joke one time. And you spazzed out. You was tight. I keep a little mental note. Johnny said something. We went out to go eat. And he was low on money. He said, yo, can I get $3? And you was begging for that back. Or you really pressing him like, yo, I need that $3 back. The rule may be, yeah, he's supposed to pay you back. But our clique may be, hey, we're at a higher standard of honor. $3 for my dog is nothing. I'm not asking for that back. Get it to me if you can. You may be used to a different crew that says $3, I'm willing to press you. Like, I need my $3. We don't send an email saying, hey, you in a different clique, that's wrong. Because it may ruin our clique trying to get you right. We have to self-preserve, and we can only help what is good within this group. If I was to give an example and a woman example, for example, there may be a group of women who implicitly, 3 of us came from high school together, 2 of us we met in college, 1 of us we met at the job. But of these girls, 5 of us know we just kick it with dudes. We go to a brunch, we smile at the table, but we actually don't get down like that. We ain't, not all of us is going back to their spot. That's not us. Our parties end at 11. We boyfriend girls, like we just flirt a little bit till we get our dude and then we off the scene. Then it's just, we going to the gym and we just, going to museums. There's one girl that's like, no, I'm with that. Like, I'm out there till 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, where your friend? Oh, I got a friend for you. They don't tell, you know what I'm saying? That's the difference. They don't have to tell this girl, damn, like, yo, Ray always trying to, what's up with her? Like, Ray always trying to stay out late. Like, yo, who are these dudes? What they got going on? Like, they making me uncomfortable. You may say, why do you not explicitly tell them that? And they have the option to choose that. I would say it's 2 different type of women. Some women who are more confrontational clique might say, hey, girl, stop. We not with that. she may be with it. Some girls may say, we are just a group of girls that it shouldn't even have to be said. If it has to be said, you might not be fit for this group. It's on you to try to, and if we start distancing ourselves and you don't even make an effort to get back right, that's all the evidence we need. You wasn't meant to be.
But I feel like, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I'm gonna just jump straight into it. I feel like, me personally, I get that from women. I believe in women friendships. Cody doesn't believe in male and female friendships. So I feel like in dealing with my female friends, I do get that communication that I can bring back to males. And if you get it, you get it. But I don't say I didn't tell you. That's the thing for me. It's like so much unspoken with men that it's almost like either you get it or you don't, but nobody's going to teach you. And in the fact of nobody teaching you, where do you learn? Hence, we have a lot of misguided men. And we be like, okay, how do we stop this misguidedness? We got to reach one and teach one. That dude that might not know anything about being a man, teach him. He in the clique that don't understand boundaries, teach him boundaries. Teach him to where he understands.
So my first comment would be to kind of like, let's say piggyback, but in response to what Cody was saying, because I noticed how you were saying like with somebody that is able to take more criticism, then you teach them, you let them know, hey, this is what's up, but it doesn't seem fair for someone that you say doesn't take criticism well for you to basically like be like, okay, that's it, that's all I can do, like my hands are tied, like it gives, and this is also not even just a man situation. This is a male situation. This is for women too. This goes both sexes.
This goes on both
sexes.
Both sexes.
People drop the ball and expect people to know where they dropped the ball. And it's like, since you're not open to criticism, or I think you react this way, I'm just gonna leave it alone. And it's also on you to figure out what you did. And if the person doesn't have the awareness to know that they're dropping the ball, they don't have the awareness to know that that's the reason why you left them alone. And if you want them to do better, which we should, and if you actually care about the person,
like you say you do.
Real.
Explain.
And then, because you also mentioned like, sometimes it tends like this person overreacts. And if that may be true, but in that sense, it sounds like that you're scared of their reaction from you telling them the truth. And if you really care about them, the truth is going to matter more than their reaction to how they're going to act. Because even if you don't invite them to the cookout, if they already overreact, it's not like they're going to show up to the cookout and blow that bitch up. Like
exactly.
they're going to overreact regardless. You ignoring them. They
don't even get the addy.
So if they not even getting the addy, it's like, why not even tell them how I feel?
Well, let me add a couple of things to contextualize my opinion about it, because it can come off heartless, and I understand that opinion. Let me give you the other side of it. I believe it's more so like a person has an energy bar and a social bar that is limited. It's not endless because we're not God. We're humans. So, for example, you might have a commitment to your partner. Meaning that this partner takes up 50% of your energy and your time. Your mom and your dad and your siblings might take 20%. You got 30% left for your friends. If one individual friend is taking up 25 because they are unreceptive to basic level critiques like, dang, girl, maybe you should use a different deodorant. You scared to say you can't. And you might say, oh, you're scared. It's not even that I'm scared. It's more so I've decided, no, I won't invest that. I'm going to go to the gym. I need to work out. I owe my wife 50%. I need to go talk to her. She need to make sure she's straight. I have to go pay attention to my daughter. I have to go pay attention to my mom, my dad, my kid. Then what is left is what I can do. Because I believe in duties. I have a hierarchy of order. Then what is left, there might have been time when I was 18 years old with no duties where I could chop it up with you more about this. Now as a grown man, I can't invest that energy, because if we get in an argument and my attitude is messed up and I come home and I'm a little short of my wife, I've messed something up that shouldn't have been touched because I was stressed out with you. I was stressed out with this guy that I was having this discussion with. And that wasn't, and you can't control the fact that, because everybody knows an employer may yell at you. Now you get a little tight with somebody, one of your friends or your homeboys or your significant other. Now they tight with they people. It's a leaky line. But you have to be very concise with it.
That's a battle that I feel like you have that with that conversation. I like to say anytime I have a conversation with people that I'm like, oh yeah, we friends, I'm not your enemy in this. So with me not being your enemy in this, when I bring up anything, you take that as that. I'm only here to help you. I'm only here to tell you, hey, this might not be the cup of tea that you should drink, dog. Like, hey, this is what you need to do. And if you take that, you take that. But don't say I didn't give you the
But
tea.
understand this.
And that might only take 5% of me.
Right.
Because I do also, like you have hierarchy of duties, I have hierarchy of duties as well. Because what you have as far as bandwidth of what you have left is what you give out.
Right. But even what I say with this, keep in mind that the context is that this person does not receive these comments well or easily. If they received it well, then yeah, we giving it to them. Like I told you, not everybody on the team is getting the same energy. Some people are Beyonce. There's girls you can come with straight to their face. Girl, this was wrong. They say, oh, my bad, sis. It's on, it's fixed. They're just a more valuable person. It's easy for them to take on this critique and improve immediately. They're a grown woman about theirs. They are socialized in a way that they're good. Certain men, you could say, hey, bro, what was with that? He fixes it immediately. Some men are like that. Some men, it's like, oh, the coddling, what you'd have to do to get this message across. I'm like, you need this, and you need a level of love that only a romantic partner could give you. As a man, homie to homie, I cannot give you that. But hold on, but let me add this as well. I'm saying even alongside with that, you have to keep in mind there are limits. There are limits to what you can do before you have to resort to what I would say is like a more masculine mindset is that there has to be a level of starvation or consequence to bad decision making. So, for example, if we say we can have a critique with friends, we're teenagers. There's a certain friend that we have. We say, hey, man, when we go talk to girls, we all nervous. We're all scared. You need to go say, hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? We might all get curved. All we're going to do is go to the mall and say, hey, how you doing? And try to get a number. It's our only goal. None of us have ever been at a girl's house alone. We 16, 17 years old. If you do not come to this forest and hunt and try with us.
I was at a girl house at like 11,
it's possible, yeah.
12.
But I'm just saying, if you do not come and take this challenge with us, the consequence will not necessarily be we don't like you as a friend. The consequence is that you will starve in woman interaction. I cannot help a girl like you. I'm barely getting one girl to like me. So the consequence is that when we go to the movies next weekend with the girls we met this weekend, you will not be invited. Now, you can paint that we just isolated you. That's rude. That's mean. I'm saying, no, that's the masculine mindset of how to improve. Girls would invite the friend who had no boy. And now she's awkward and weird and killing the vibe. And now they have an awkward car ride home. I would say you guys are having the same awkward situation in two different ways. We didn't invite the guy. You invited her and she's in a different aisle looking at us kiss, feeling weird. Who's better? I would say the guys. You might say the girls. It's up to you. It's very subjective. It's not as clear cut as like, oh, the women are just loving and caring and mature, and the guys are just rude and cut. I'm like, no.
But in that sense,
both of them are gonna teach a lesson now.
But in that sense of that, it's like, okay, a zebra don't change his spots. When I met bro, I knew he didn't have no girl interaction. When I met old girl, I knew she had bad interactions with men. So when I bring them around, now it's almost like a little brother situation or a little sister situation. I'm going to put him in situations that he going to win. I'm going to put him around some girls that might not be able to talk as well. Because if that's the case, it's not coddling. Some people come from different backgrounds. He might not have been in those situations. He might have been an ugly nigga. She might have been an ugly girl. In those situations, some people don't know how to talk to women. Some people don't know how to talk to men. And so, if they don't get it from their parents, where they gonna go? They gonna be hoes on the street?
No. If you have a girl in Aircar that you like, you say, "Hey, I like Brittany." Brittany has a girl who's the same age and awkward and socially uninvolved with any other boys at the same time that my friend is awkward and weird. Then okay, sure. But if she doesn't, then I like Brittany. Her cousin likes Kevin. We will go. Are we being mean or are we just doing what works? We can't force her to have a friend that's.
But you do it off of people who get picked. Like if she picked the quiet boy, then guess what? I'ma let Shawty know. Hey, he might be a little quiet, and she either deal with that or not.
What we're saying is that she didn't pick him.
Okay,
now what do you do?
If she didn't pick him, you let him know she ain't pick him.
And now what do we do next weekend? Is he coming?
He can't come.
Okay, then we agree.
But he knows now. But he knows why he didn't get chose instead of that secret, because you don't know where his mind went to if he didn't get chose. When he didn't get chose, he like, man, I might not fuck with them niggas again. Or I might not, maybe I'm finna boss up, so when I see them niggas again, they gonna ask me for the hoe.
And even I want people, as you listen to this, to kind of think about what we're saying. If you listen very closely, you might be able to capture that. These are similar situations with similar answers. But I'm just saying, hey, I don't have to explicitly tell you that which we saw in the world of reality. It's we play basketball and one person beat the person. We know at the end of this guy's better at basketball than this other person. We don't have to tell them. If we go and we interact with girls and we found that you were uncomfortable, you did not take the challenge of even trying to speak, I don't have to tell you next weekend, hey Trey, you know when we go out, you're not going, right? And you know if you keep doing this, we won't be friends. Because I like girls.
But why can't you tell him?
Why do you need
Because
to?
The thing is, it's like it's a senseless bantering of friends. Like, hey dog, we went out, you ain't get no hoes again.
Exactly, and even this, let me paint it in a female situation so you understand. Because let
her paint it.
I consider that a little more rude. No, but let me give you an example. There may be a group of girls where you go out, and there's one girl who decides I'm going to invest a little less time in my beauty, whether it be makeup, whether it be the outfits, whether it be the way I speak, the perfume, whatever the case may be. Because there's an art of dealing with guys as girls as well. Over time, if you want to keep meeting guys with your friends and you guys are having fun, you're socializing, do you feel like there has to be an explicit discussion with this one girl who says, I don't invest in this time? Like, or could you just be friends and just she's not invited to the moments where you are trying to do this? Just like if we're playing basketball, there's guys who might be invited who, when we play football, this guy can't dribble. Why do I have to tell you, hey, bro, just want to let you know your 3-point game is pretty weak. You're still my friend.
So he can work on it.
Why do I have to?
He can work on it.
If he's not good in the game and he doesn't have that self-awareness, telling you doesn't always make somebody.
It don't always make it, but it can better help it than harm it.
I don't always. I just don't believe that telling. Sometimes you can over-talk yourself to being more mean to people than just letting the situation be. You might say it's nice, but I'm like, I think that's a
it's not nice. It's more so about truth. Like, if I tell you the truth, you can either sink or swim, barbecue or mildew. Either you gonna rise to the occasion or not. And in that, now I know where to put you. And I don't have to do the dilly-dally, and I don't have to do the endless man talk or endless banter that might come with figuring out if a dude is ready for what we might get into.
But I think even part of human development is being able to read people, being able to read situations. If a girl has to tell you, please,
I think that's society, though. But I think that's society.
Kiss me now. You're not ready to date.
Okay.
You're not understanding her social cues.
I hope the mic can hear you.
No, I think
so what you saying is, if you saying, you see a girl and she look like she want to kiss you, you kiss her. No consent. No consent.
No, I'm not asking, hey, may I kiss you now?
So what if you kiss her and she slap you?
I have to eat that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was natural. You're not supposed to.
So you pushed the boundary that you didn't know was there. So you telling me?
No, this is a new rule that people have made. Hey, you're supposed to ask your girl, may I have this kiss? When in reality, I would say I'm born in 1996, all the way to about 2018 maybe. It was a well understood rule. That is what separates under being a human that knows how to date and a person and like, oh, you're not socialized. You're going to girls every step of it. Hey, can I hold your hand? Hey, you mind if I grab you here? Hey, if you
Christina, get him.
No, eventually you have
get
to
him, Christina.
You have to learn the girl off of how she's interacting. If she's not answering any question, she's not making eye contact.
Christina, get him.
You shouldn't just be saying the whole way through, hey,
get him, Christina.
What about the second? Do you ask for consent the second time you kiss her?
No.
What about the third time?
But are we talking about y'all dating or being together?
Like, when I meet a girl and I just literally, she look like it's time to kiss, and I kiss her, she ain't want that. Bow. Slap. He like, yeah, eat it. That's the button I pushed. That might not get you a second call, bro. Yeah. Now you
threw me off. What are
you pushed up on her.
Right.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Thank you. Whoa. Okay, go ahead.
I had something to say like 5 dialogues ago because y'all definitely hogged this conversation.
Sorry.
So my first comment was to you saying there's certain little percentages that you give to people. I first am questioning, when you said that, I'm first thinking, how much percent do you think that you have to give to this person to give them closure or give them an explanation as to why you're ending a friendship? Also, and Armani also said, like, if you choose to give, what you choose to give somebody is what they get. If you come into that conversation knowing this person doesn't receive something well, it may blow up. That is up to you as well to know, to have the control and self-control to control your emotions. If that person gets level-headed, like you said, you know what you're speaking from your heart, you mean well, and that's all you have. So if you go in with that mind, then how can what blood is there to boil? What heart rate is there to go up, or any extra excess energy is there to put into it if you know how it's going to go and you know where your heart is coming from? Also, you were saying how, like, even if that interaction doesn't go well and you come home, it boils over into other things. I also feel like in that instance, communication plays into part. You go to your spouse and be like, I'm finna have an uncomfortable conversation with so-and-so. We may have talked about it, but he doesn't necessarily take criticism well.
How many times would you do this?
How many times would I do what?
How many times would you?
We're talking about the cutoff, not the. I'm trying to see where you at, what's going on.
Well, I'm debating because he said to me that you should inform them that you're about to cut off. Because I wouldn't have. I
don't think there needs to be a like a warning, a late, like, no. I don't think there needs to be that. I'm talking about the final cord that's being cut.
I'm saying if you're not necessarily sure about it, because initially his critique of it is that you're not giving the person an option to fix it. So you're not giving them a cutoff. You're giving them a complaint almost. You're saying, hey, we ain't stopping the friendship. I'm just letting you know what I don't like about what you do.
Okay, so now
how many times would you be willing to have this conversation with the person over the course of 5 years?
As many times as I need to, if that person is worthy.
That's his saying. Hell no. For me, it's.
But from what I'm gathering from what you're saying is that you're not going to have this conversation is your wife? At all.
You said what?
What if that person is your wife?
That is very true, because that's another point that I want to touch on.
Romantic, a whole different rule.
It's not.
But in a romance, you got to look at her as your friend as well.
I would give her a million chances.
So if I'm gonna give her a million chances,
if you have to
in the
give somebody
same
a million
aspect,
chances, you'll be miserable. If somebody's not doing something that you're expecting them to do, and you keep telling them over and over again, that's miserable.
You wouldn't give the person that is the love of your life, because when we say a million chances, sometimes people think infidelity. I'm like, it's a gazillion different things that could be. You will have a gazillion arguments. You might have 10 arguments a month over small little things. Where's the laundry supposed to go? Should we have gone there? Oh, why didn't we go on this date? Why didn't you call back on this?
But you can have this. That's not the argument. That's not the reason that you're going to cut off your friends, though. That wouldn't be a reason why you cut off your friends.
Okay, before y'all finish that, pause that. He got to change the battery. So, hold on. I just had to let y'all know because y'all was going in and the battery was going to go out, and I didn't want the battery to go out on y'all.
You might need to get a mic to him.
Okay, so we back with adult friendships, right? So I have a question. Discuss a moment when a friend's advice completely changed your perspective on the situation. And describe the situation shortly. You first, Christina.
Nope. You got anything you want to say?
No, I feel like we've been holding conversations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to give you the time.
Now it's on me. Y'all ain't got
I just want to give you the time to shine.
You done already did it. It's too late for that. It's too late. We here now.
I just want to give you something.
We got 2 minutes left. We here now.
No,
anyway, repeat the question again so I can fully answer it.
So the question is, discuss a moment when a friend's advice, maybe mine's, completely change your perspective on a situation. Maybe a situation that we talked about, you know?
I have a friend, shout out to Dejana, but she holds me very accountable.
It's not
I sometimes need to be snapped into reality. Sometimes the same way that Cody is talking about, some people are just supposed to get it sometimes. I don't. It doesn't take that. I'm that kind of person sometimes. I just don't get it sometimes, and I need somebody to tell me, like, snap me back into reality or make me see something from a different lens. So.
You be delusional.
I don't know about delusional. I feel like because I'm that type of person. I can also say that I'm not even gonna be hypocritical and say that I'm never that type of person where I think people just get it, because I'm not. So I have instances where I feel like sometimes people I'm dating or some people I'm involved with friendship wise that they supposed to just get it and supposed to understand. And so that's where my patience. I have an issue with my patience. That's where that comes into play. And she has to tell me, you struggle with your patience. That everybody does not get it. And when you have more grace for people and when you have when you have a better understanding that not everybody knows everything that you know. Everybody didn't come from the same background. They don't understand. They come up the way you came up. They weren't taught the same things. So sometimes what you think is common knowledge and what you think somebody should know, they actually don't. And
Exactly.
so I think that has really changed my perspective, and it's made me be a lot more self-aware. It took her a couple times. I ain't gonna hold you. It took her a couple times, but she stuck beside me, and she's standing beside me right now. And I feel like it's helping me. It's been helping me, like, to this, like, in this moment, currently. Yeah.
I would say the advice that I got from a friend is mainly to just hold your horses on responses, and that contributes to my belief in this. Because I want people who listen to it, they can understand that it can come off like you're a little cold-hearted. Oh, you don't give people a second chance. They make one mistake and you just cut them off. I'm like, no. It is more so that you're calculated, or you relax before you immediately confront issues. My natural tendencies is to kind of be a person that's argumentative, or to confront it too much, to speak on it too much, to try to correct it too much. And I've seen the negatives of that. My friend, my close partner, he's a very laid back kind of fella. And his mindset, his advice is more so like, you dial it back. You didn't need to speak on that. Sometimes you didn't need to talk about that. Sometimes save it here, give it here. And the if I was to, I guess, summarize that wisdom, that's what allows me to come to this answer. With both of you guys' situation, I'm not saying that I'm cutting a person off immediately. I'm saying over the course of months and years of knowing a person, I am taking in their reactions to minor situations, to bigger situations. I'm saying this is what they like to hear. This is what they can't hear. This is what they're super open to hearing. And I'm coming up with a summary of like, this is not where I can step in on their life. This is a place where I believe they can. Just an example, for some people, you might admire this person's body type. So if they were to give you certain corrective advice on how to lift or how to eat or how to exercise, you'd be more receptive of it, as opposed to a person that you're like, I actually don't like your body type. I find it not so attractive. You could give the same advice, but I'd be a little open. So for me, it's just more so when I say that, I don't want people to say, oh, I knew you for a month. You made one mistake and I cut you off for life. No, I've known when I come up with these hypothetical situations, they're close friends that you've known over the course of years, that you've seen traits or behaviors that you find somewhat significant. And you're saying, hey, I don't believe I'm the person that should speak on this. Maybe your uncle in 1 year should speak on this. Maybe your next girlfriend in 3 years should speak on this. Maybe your brother, your little brother, tomorrow night should speak on this. But this guy, Cody, best friend number 4 or best friend number 8.
Best friend number 4 is crazy.
I don't think I'm the right guy to speak on this right now for your moment and where your season is in life. And I understand it can come off cold, but at the same time, I think if you give it a bird's eye view, you can understand where I'm coming from. It's like, it's just a wisdom about where to invest your energy and where you should, don't just back down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Ooh, they take their criticism.
Exactly. Know when it's like, hey, I'm not that guy for you. You don't respect me, or you don't look at me as that person, so I won't be that. And I had to humble myself in that. My best friend, I feel like he did a good job in explaining that, whereas sometimes I would say, oh, why ain't you speaking? Just like I said, why ain't you saying nothing? It's more so like, you're not that guy right now. You shouldn't be that. Wait. Let another person say it. Like, that's wise. That's smart.
Okay, an advice that I would think a friend gave to me would be enjoying the journey. I am on a couple of different journeys, fitness journeys, this entertainment journey as a whole. So I think that I had to learn in a sense, because I be expecting quick turnarounds on a lot of things, especially when I know I'm better than a lot of people. But in that same sense, I have to understand, just like Cody said, it might not be your time. And just enjoy where you at now, so you won't look back at that later and be like, dang, I missed those moments. Like, I be enjoying these moments with my friends on the couch, parlaying, talking shit. You won't get these moments again, because when you going where I'm going, the entertainment world, it can be your best friend or your worst enemy at the same time. So that was one thing that really stuck out to me. Enough about that. I just wanted to ask these couple of questions that was just on my mind that might pique y'all head. So, you meet a girl and or boy, right? You talking to him. Y'all been talking for several months. You hit once, right? You bring them around to friends. You find out that person might have hit your best friend but you already locked in with the girl or boy. Do you keep her, knowing that she's a homie hopper? Or you let her go because she a homie hopper?
I'm questioning why I wouldn't know this before I brought him or her around my friends.
You don't know everybody that everybody deal with.
If they're my friends, yeah, I kind of do. Or I would at least share, this is someone I'm interested in. You know them? You know them? Mm-hmm. That's disgust. I'm not a secretive person. I'm not secretive with my friends, so you'll know who I'm dealing with, who I have potential of even bringing around you before they even come.
You know, he's secretive. He don't post on IG. That's his little.
Here you go.
What happens when you don't post on the grid?
Everybody know I do post. Everybody
on
know.
the table. Yeah.
Everybody know what's up, right?
Yeah, God. Oh man, that's funny.
It be your own friends and your line brothers, right? This is not an exposing episode, or we'll be dealing with some other exposés, and that's not the case. This ain't the Attack Our Money show. This is my podcast, but we ain't gonna.
He can bring us some 4 or 5 years ago type
Right.
No.
Shay didn't look at you.
People start thinking like, oh, I saw something. I'm like, don't say that.
Bro,
Don't say that.
check this out. Check this out.
You ain't got nothing.
Check this out, bro. Ain't nobody above God. Everybody got secrets. So what I'm saying is, tell all book coming out real soon on everybody. Like,
drop the book. I just gotta say it because I know people will sit there and be like, what is it? I'm like, it's nothing.
All right, bitch.
I tell you my chest over. I'm like, I promise you, it is nothing. Go ahead.
Tell all book coming soon.
Go ahead, drop that. Yeah.
I'm gonna do the.
Like they like what? He must have
He got some dark.
Right, I'm like, no,
juicy.
No, it was a time now. Back in the day.
I'm dropping the tell all book.
It's not that kind of time. It ain't that time.
I'm telling everybody secrets on my tell all book. $9.95. It's gonna be cheap.
Wait, what she said is actually the correct answer. That's why I cracked the joke about the posting, but like specific. Oh, I'm sorry. What she said.
He love talking without the mic.
What she
they hear me.
Yeah, what she says is the right answer. Especially for what I would say, those close friends. There's certain people that you might say like, I'm a friend, but we're not very close. Your top 3.
We're not friends if we're not close. Sorry, I'm sorry. I just don't believe in the middle ground. It's either we friends or not. It's like so many people live in this middle ground where it's like, yeah, we're cool enough to be an acquaintance. No. It's either we friends, I'm going to let you know what's up, or we not. All that middle ground extra enough is filler people that folks are filling up with their life. And I'm like, why?
And I think that, that we got into a little podcast debate about the difference between male and female. I'm like, I would say that that's more of how I view. A lot of times women have that mindset towards friendships. This is a woman that I care deeply about, 100%, and it's 3 of them. And then the rest of them, who cares? I don't give a damn. Whereas men, I'm like, nah, I couldn't say it like that. There's men that I would say I care deep enough that I would damn near start a business with them. But then there's also men that I care deeply enough that I would coach a basketball team with them. Both of them are very intimate and kind of meaningful things to me. But they're different areas of life. And then there might be 10 guys that I'm like, yo, he's not there yet. But I like his character and how he's grinding and how he's moving, that he could be that. Whenever he wants to take it there, or maybe he gets a job in a different city and now he's 30 minutes away, he might be that. So I might have 20 friends. I'm like, yo, you close. Like, we're in a orbit of, we could be very close friends or we could distance ourselves a little. I'm not that, 3 people, you're either this or that. I'm like, I couldn't say that. No way. There's people who are close. There's people who are close to close. And then there's people who have the resume that they could be close. It's about maybe they're spending time that, their mom might have some sickness. So he can't even go out. He can't not interact in the friendship because he's handling business. But maybe next year, I know you a good man. We have similar interests. Everything is aligned. Just right now, I mean, I'm like, I wouldn't be able to quantify friendship in that way. Where it's like only 2 guys. I'm like,
you have to though. Prime example of when you had to. When you had your wedding, you had to pick several groomsmen. Right. Those groomsmen were your groomsmen. The rest were people.
Under your definition, everybody wasn't my groomsmen, wasn't friends?
Those were your friends. But at the same time,
everybody who wasn't what?
They might have been your friends in per se, but in that moment, they understood that they might be fillers.
No, I wouldn't say that. They're still friends.
That's what you think to them, but have you asked everybody that wasn't your groomsman, hey, how you feel?
Well, I'm saying you couldn't base an opinion off everybody. I'm saying there's people who's like, hey, I wasn't invited to the wedding and I thought we was closer.
Y'all are not friends.
Like, levels of friendship hierarchy is all I'm trying to say.
Y'all are not friends.
His original statement was like friendship,
Yeah.
which is your intimate bond, damn near the closest thing outside
Best friends
of romance.
only, or nothing.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's not best friends or only. There's definitely a degree.
There's
just like when they
between.
say fluidity
Yeah.
or something. I'm like,
everything is not black and white. When they say that, yeah.
Friendship to just acquaintance is 0 to 50, and then 50 to 100 is like enemy. I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of wavelength between that zero. I'm like, if you're just going 0 to, I'm like, to me, you're moving and you're behaving in a way that would make you be like, fuck them, they're op. I'm like, what is making you cut off these other 15 people that are good people? They just, it ain't there right now.
But would you pick the girl? Because that's when we started. Would you pick her, or would you pick him or her? Would you pick them?
What? Would you pick what?
I remember you talking about.
The question was, would you deal with the homie
What you talking about?
hopper?
You brought them to the function and somebody messed with them.
Would you deal with the homie hopper, or are you leaving her?
Oh, of course not.
Oh, Cody's not dealing with her after that instance. He might have liked her a little bit, but after that moment, it's a dub.
It's a code of honor thing.
It's a code of honor, but it also is, I feel like if that's the case, then it would play into honesty. Because knowing me, I've mentioned my friends, you've seen what my friends look like, and you didn't say anything to me.
They don't want to ruin that moment.
If you worried about ruining the moment and things being good, then we can't go long term, because you're gonna always worry that if I say the wrong thing, you're gonna leave, and you taking away, at the end of the day, you take away my choice to fuck with you.
One more question, then we done.
And let me just add the one thing to that. I intentionally do this for a reason. Some people we keep cracking jokes about the social media. I'm like, I just think of it as a norm of your time. So for me, I'm like, I'm posting pictures of all my physical brothers, all my LBs, all my closest compadres. I'm posting it clear, like, yo, me and the dogs, we chilling at the barbecue, at the pool, at the game. This is to let, when I was in my single days, I'm like, yo, any woman that's interested, these are the top 20 dudes. If you kick it with them, you like one of them, you got to take a shot and find out what type of guys we are. Some girls will find out, like, they'll have fun with everybody, but they only cuff one. Some will find out, these two was too close. I can't even flirt with him and flirt with this guy. So it's your decision about how you decide. I'm like, for me, with me, I consider like a girl she's trying the character of your whole crew. Some dudes take it as like, we passing her around. I'm like, no, she trying the whole character. Yeah, she's trying the whole. She looking the whole crew in the eye saying, that's your brother for real? Because like he was telling me secrets. He told me about y'all little feud. I knew about the beef before you knew about it. Like he told me that. And now I'm finding the other side of it because I'm kicking it with both. It's disrespectful. Like I'm not cool with it.
So that brings me into the last question before we wrap this up. And this is a very special question to me. When dealing with male and female friendships, there comes a time where it's like an unspoken boundary. And Cody's going to have to make this real quick because the look on his face is like, I can already tell I'm going to have a lot to say. I feel like the male and female friendship gets frowned upon, but it's needed so much in both society and, in-house, because I feel like women teach men about a lot of things and men teach women about it. So if we going around acting like we don't know. So the question that I'm trying to bring up is, how do we get to that equal place that we don't look at each other as you a man, you a woman? We can just be like, yeah, we're friends. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that make us different is the genitalias.
Oh, I don't agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Different. And our whole vibe, our virtues. I'm like, no, I don't. The belief that just genitalia separate. I'm sorry. The belief that just genitalia separates us is already. I'm like, whoa. Your foundation is. I'm like, no, we're complete. We have a whole different. For example, if danger was to come in here right now, we don't have to say it. It's 3 men in this room. We protect first.
Yeah, my EP in the back.
If we gotta die, who dies? Who needs to die last? If he just literally the gunman said, I just have to kill one of
the
y'all.
podcast.
Who needs to die first?
The podcast.
It shouldn't be her.
I have to tell the story.
No, I'm just saying like that.
Who goes first? Christina. She gotta go because he want her. we know that. He want her.
But no,
just playing. I'm just playing.
He can say it in a joking way, but what I'm saying is
but we all know that.
When you view men and women as exactly the same, us just thinking too much like you would disgust you. If we were really as thinking about our safety to the same degree that you are, and you just lived in a world where every man, we just really thought like you would kind of be like, I don't feel safe. Yeah, you know, like
I'm not asking us to think like each other. I'm not asking us to think like each other.
I'm saying that you say that we're the same at first.
What I'm asking is to understand that the friendship is on the same level. The friendship that I have with you is the same friendship that I can have with her.
And okay, and I guess I'll boil it down. I'll try to be as quick as I possibly can with this. For me, I feel as though the highest level of friendship should be with your own gender, and there will be connections to the other gender that spurt out of that. So, for example, I have I have LBs, and I also have pro fights, and I have other people.
He got 7 of them. I mean, he had 6 of them.
Chill out.
7.
Look,
he had 7. He had 7 LBs.
Listen,
but he ain't gonna say he got 7. He gonna say he got 6.
With this, you'll have people. They might all pick a wife. So from that, there's a connection to the women of their lives. So if something was to happen to them, I would like to be able to help that wife, me and my wife. You get what I'm saying? So I have a level of protectorship and providership that extends not only to my immediate family, but to the wives of my brothers, my physical brothers, my closest friends, they daughters. And then you end up having a little nucleus of guys that you deal with. Same with you. If you end up with one guy, he got 4 brothers. You're going to connect with those girls. You're going to have a close relationship to them because you talk to them more. But you're also feeling like, yo, if anything ever happened to her and you needed help, you need someone to go check on this or whatever, or help with the kids, whatever the case may be, I would say that should be something that you're taking on. And when I say that you should prioritize male friendships, I am more so saying I call cap on the fact that a woman could hold you to the same account that I'm going to hold you to as your friend. I say this: if you have 6 dudes in a room saying like, nah, we not being soft, we're not being saying like you got to fix this, no, you're wrong, you tripping, but you lean, if you even get comfortable going to women first about that, it will develop a mindset that is not healthier for your family. As if we were to all tell you like, bruh, don't go to no other girl. Don't go to, just come to us. And
you're not living in 2023,
bro. Challenge yourself, brother. You got to fit. And I'm saying that is the 2023 for a lot of men.
The 2023 man is weak.
70% of black men are growing up in single family households.
Okay.
They view themselves as, they have a slanted view of what manhood is supposed to be in itself. I'm like, you really supposed to be getting pushed by your dogs. And you only go and bring love and warmth to your woman. You're not supposed to be coming to the girls. The girls like, yo, I need y'all to just tell me what my problems is I'm dealing with. No. Like, no, I'm helping y'all with y'all bags. Y'all need anything, woo, woo, woo. But the dogs is when I come, I'm like, bro, what do I do to help fix this situation? It's a room of pressure and improving. Go to the gym. You fat as hell. I need my friends to say, you fat. My girl should never have to say, you getting fat. She'll never have to say that. Because 2 of my friends already say, nigga, you fat as hell. What's going on? They push me to go to the gym. And then I go home, I look good. She say, you look good. Your girl should go and check you and be like, damn, you ain't going to dress up? It's been a minute since you put a dress on. I shouldn't have to come and check you because your girl should have already said like, dang, you kind of smelling funny, no perfume anymore. What happened to the moisturizer? They push you. Then I'm like, yo, you looking good today, baby. Because your girls pushed you and my guys pushed me. And now we love each other. We're not supposed to necessarily always have to push each other in a friendship way, especially if it's no romantic situation. I can do that to my wife, like, hey, I think you should work on this. But to go to a random woman and give the type of critique I'll give you, she'd be in tears. Like, yo, it's damn, you too much, overbearing. And if a girl was to give me the same critique that y'all gave me, I'll be like, yo, I'm not really feeling it. Like, watch out. I'm not trying to hear that from you. I just feel like it comes off different when you're in your same group. But, I understand. I'm not when people hear that, they think you're saying separate all women.
Cody's a feminist.
Only friends with guys. You know what I'm saying? Like no, I can't even have a conversation with you. No, I can have a conversation with you.
Cody said he's a feminist on live podcast. He's saying he's a feminist.
No, it's not even that. I'm just saying I can have a conversation with you. I'm saying, but for the he's going a whole way. But for the betterment of each other, I think that you always going to be better if you're pushed by your own. You're going to feel a sense of comfort and vulnerability. Sisterhood. I think there's benefits of it.
He passed that off.
Yeah, he had to go ahead and give it up because he realized he was a little long. He said, I'm going to keep this short, but it went 30 minutes.
All right, sorry.
Yeah.
I have a question, Cody. So why would you not be more receptive to hear that from a woman versus a man telling you something?
Because he don't respect women. He's a
Because that's
feminist.
kind of what that's kind of what it sounds
I told
like.
you that. He don't respect women.
No, it's not even that. I think as though there's certain expectations inherent with men that I feel like will kind of base how much I respect your opinion or whatever the case may be. So, for example, physical strength and physical ability does have something to do with how people perceive your comments. A man who is not fit physically, he don't never go to the gym, he just looks weak, either weak or fat, whatever the case may be. In a male group, typically, you cannot be the alpha. You can't be the leader. You can't be the boy giving wisdom unless you become extremely wealthy. You can talk about business. But you've already succumbed to a certain area of life where you've shown weakness. If I feel like you're a woman and I notice that even though the advice is correct, I might be wise enough or mature enough to accept it and be like, that's good advice this time. But I see times where I notice you getting like flustered or damn near crying over a small inconvenience at work. Or, you know what I'm saying?
So
Something happened.
a woman?
I'm saying, yeah. Women that you might have. There's situations in life where I feel like they're pushed to try to be like, oh, no, I'm not moved. But I've witnessed all the women in my life, like growing up, whether it be romantic or friends or students or coworkers, whatever the case may be. There's times where they just do things. I'm like, oh, wow, like this wasn't really a big deal to me. Like it really, you were really offended by that a little bit more. A customer said one little thing and like it drove you. I'm like, that to me, I can't even check you about that without being sexist or offensive. I'd rather not speak to it about it. Whereas if it was a man that said that, I could just say, like, what you tripping about, bro? With you, I have to watch how I'm speaking. Like, even in this conversation, I got to kind of watch how I'm speaking. Because I could say something that I could say to Armani that would be more offensive to you. And because of that, our conversation will never be as intimate as when if I can say it to somebody who I know he ain't going to never check me about. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just,
I'm going to say what I want to Christina.
So because I'm more in tune with my emotions and that when I am, instead of being emotional, I'm being logical and I'm telling you, calling you on your shit for things, it's still not being able to be perceivable but even though I'm able to balance both, usually when men are not able to handle their emotions, but all they can do is force themselves to try to be logical.
Because when I ain't gonna lie, you gave us men like superficial answers, like you like, yeah, bro, you too fat. You come to a lot of men in 2023, that's just from what I'm experiencing as a man. You come to a lot of men with these problems, they don't know how to answer them. We all are going through what we call a trial.
with what problem?
If I come to you and say, hey, bro, like, I don't know what to do. I need to make X, Y, and Z dollars. And you in the same spot as me. You can't tell me nothing, dog.
But the woman in the same spot could tell you.
She ain't gonna be in the same spot at our age. Ain't no one. I haven't found a lot of women. Well, we gonna use it like this because it's Black History Month.
Situation. Tell me a woman in the same situation as you. You give it all fair. If it's unequal, what you're saying is that I ain't never met a woman who's not successful.
I haven't met a.
Okay, well, yeah,
the unsuccessful women make it look. But the unsuccessful women make it look successful. That's the thing with us men. We don't.
How did the unsuccessful woman make it look successful? Explain
because they've been taught that. Because just like you said, they was
what
raised.
What does that mean though?
What you mean as far as like?
How did the unsuccessful woman make it look successful? What are they doing to make it look successful?
They putting priorities first.
Priorities in what?
Their life, what might be going on in their life, they're putting that priority first, making whatever they got going on their situation. It's some men out here.
It's rather vague, Armani. You got to get in that situation.
But if I go specific, I would give somebody situation.
When you have the same budget as the man, we consider struggling, or maybe you physically look better. Are you more? You keep up with your appearance more than the man who's going to the same financial situation. If that's the case, I'm like. Is that how you're getting?
I know 10 dudes. That's just me. I know 10 dudes who would rather go buy a shoe than pay a rent.
And what do you know for a woman?
In that same regard, I know 10 house owners who would really rather go struggle in the gutter, spend that whole 9-12 months saving, so at the end they can bust that back end open and get them a house. These men, because of where we at in mandom, right now, being in our 20s, early 30s, it's all superficial. Go to the gym. Go get your life together. Ain't nobody telling, a lot of men ain't telling no man, hey, bro, you need to go get some therapy, dog.
And your answer is...
A lot of women are.
Your solution to the black man is to lean more on the black woman.
Yes, because we ain't leaning on them at all.
That's not what they want. That's not what they need.
Now, who needs?
You don't know what they need.
They're not going to... You guys are not going to benefit. Women, black women in general. You're not going to benefit from us leaning on you if you would want more help, more assistance, more leadership from black men. So you just going to women and saying like, yo, I relate to you more. I'm like for example, it also depends on your vision. If a woman goes and gets the house, you didn't necessarily like we're coming from the example that they make the same amount of money. If a man struggles and he looks bummy and he got an apartment, but he's stacking on it, he's still making a little money. He's still movable. He can move. He gets a job in 3 years that pays way more. She goes and gets a house to say I own something. She doesn't necessarily have her man or her partner if she's not dealing with men. So when she finds it,
just let her answer.
No, when she finds a man, she's placed a dilemma that causes a problem in the future. I would say, if you don't have a vision for what you want, you have to have foresight. Is that the smart decision for her to become a homeowner at 25 before she's found her relationship partner, her life partner? Or is it better for me to look at that man? Should I question? And he might not be getting fresh haircuts, but he building something. Let's see what he does at 35. Let's see what his decision. I just am very skeptical of painting it where I'm very skeptical of painting it's like, oh man, praise one and like denigrate the other. I'm like, I wouldn't I'm definitely not going to denigrate the black man as being a black man. I just couldn't do that. But I get what you're saying. I'm like, but I wouldn't do that. Hell no.
I just want us men to understand that we got some growing to do. And instead of not looking at the woman for that growth, we can't push each other if we at the same level.
Why can't she push you if she's at the same level?
She not.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't agree that you can't be at the same level to push each other, because I have friendships where we are both wanting something for ourselves, wanting to be in a similar position for ourselves, and we motivate each other. Right. We push each other. Days I lack, she comes in, they come in and push me and vice versa. But my question was to kind of clarify something we talked about before that topic. You were saying, okay, a man that's not in shape, you necessarily not gonna take him as serious. I don't know. I can't help you. I can't help you on that.
What, this topic?
Yeah, that was y'all, so I can't help you on that one.
What you mean? It was a question.
What was the question? Y'all started talking about money and everything. Y'all went off. So
the question was more so of how do we realize that we're all just friends? We're all dealing with the same thing.
I was still talking about that. Okay. So my question, he's talking about a man being out of shape and him not being able to take him more serious. And his other example for him not being able to take a woman serious was because she's emotional. We'd never talked about that difference. And I feel like that plays exactly into your question about how can we not play even the playing field when it comes to our relationships with different genders. So my question is, why do you think that those are similar examples?
Because I believe in, like, for my idea, like, I believe in complementarity, not similarity. Meaning that I believe you're already starting from a wrong foundation if you're trying to be a great man. And I'm starting from a wrong foundation if I'm trying to be a great woman. And we're both starting from a wrong foundation if we're saying being a great human means the same for both of us. Whereas I don't agree. I may say, hey, if there was a person who's struggling with bags outside, there's a biological urge, there's an ethical urge for me to go help them. Meanwhile, if you saw a child that was crying and you just, you shunned them, I would say it's actually a little more wrong for you to ignore that than it would be for me. Whereas some people would say, no, it's the same for each. Yeah. And I'm saying, why, if you cannot accept the physical, when we talk about the obese situation, if you can't accept the fact that, hey, when someone's struggling with a table, you should stop your bags and go help, then you shouldn't shuck the responsibilities of emotional help or any type of thing. There's almost like a urge or a message that says that men should rise to the emotional needs of others, but they should not. But women shouldn't rise to the physical. I'm saying you can't rise to the physical. It would be an unrealistic standard, and we can't rise to the same as.
But being logical and calling and making somebody be accountable and giving them advice is not physical, and I'm still struggling to understand how me giving you advice is me not still being a feminine woman, because clearly this is what you're saying. You're talking about physical, masculine, physical, and feminine. Somebody supposed to be a nurturer. You expect one to be a nurturer. Blah blah blah. So do you expect also in her femininity, do you expect her to sit on the sidelines and just cry and not say anything and speak up and call you on your shit when you're supposed to?
Two parts.
And I can give you that. When we say the physical, I'm saying there are prerequisites to how much I trust and listen to you. So, for example, for women, you may say, I listen to the woman who takes deep care of her physical care to the same degree as a woman who does not. She completely ignores her hair. She doesn't dress up. She doesn't care about her physical appearance. I take both of these women's advice to the same degree. And you do that no matter what. I take all women's advice equally the same. I would say it's impossible for a human to do that. There are certain traits you must look at that you decide, I value this more. For some women, it may say, I value women who have degrees. They don't necessarily know if everything she's saying is correct. You're saying because she has an MS or whatever the accreditation behind her name is, you believe in her more. Certain women is saying, I believe because of the discipline of you getting up and going to the gym and staying moisturized and fixing your hair, I am more willing to listen to your advice. For men, I'm saying you can say, oh, that's so silly, whatever the case may be. I'm saying a man that is physically disciplined enough to wake up and go hit the gym, his shoulders are strong, whatever, he's broad, he looks like he can defend himself. Men are more inclined to listen to his advice. If there's a man who's puny and small or a man that's overweight, it's like, yeah, whatever. I be listening to say you separate those completely. I'm like, you're fighting your biological urge. Like, we're fighting our urge. I'm like, no, there actually is a correlation between how you take your physical body, mind, and spirit. They're connected. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not that I never disagree with you. The point is, this example you just gave gives exactly the same similarities and comparison.
It does.
But what you said earlier did not. So that's what my question came from. You're talking about physical and somebody keeping themselves up. And if my homegirl that keeps herself up, does her hair, make sure she looks presentable, I'm going to take that kind of advice.
Take that advice.
But if you don't do that, of course I'm not going to take
you. It's the same thing, Cody. That's what we're trying to get you to understand.
My household happy if you're not doing the same thing. Now, so when you talked about emotional and you talked about I can't. This is the comparison or the contrast. I can't take those serious. In that situation. I wouldn't be able to take a woman serious. Then I was a little confused.
And let me say this. The reason there is two different things: physical strength and physical body for men. I'm making the comparison that is the equivalent to physical beauty and upkeep for women. Y'all not worrying about how her muscles look. Does she she can run? I'm saying for men, there is when a 6'5" man who looks strong, we don't have to. It's like an animal. Like we know, like he looks like he's physically more fit. So I'm saying that is the comparison I'm making. When I'm saying and that was the one thing. Then when I said the emotional to logic, I was giving just a tier thing. There's multiple reasons why you may listen to a man more or listen to a woman more. I'm saying, in the emotional to logic, one way that you gauge a man's maturity for men is how much can you keep your emotions in control or withhold it when you're under fire. So for example, and he may say that. I'm saying no, I don't agree with that because I'm an ex-athlete. I'm a fraternity guy. I'm saying I want to see how you move when people are cracking jokes. Are you willing to cry? Are you willing to fight? Are you willing to shoot? Because when men get mad, they get violent. Whereas when women get mad, they don't always get violent. Sometimes they might speak bad. They may say mean things. They may be very vicious in a very an emotional way towards each other. A lot of times they'll say things. I'm like, damn, that was kind of harsh. Like we don't do that.
She must not be from Atlanta.
Sometimes it can resort to violence. I actually have to gauge that. So for example, if this is my partner and I find out he's a hothead, the difference between your hothead and my hothead, I may say we may die tonight. At the wrong club with the wrong argument, we will die tonight because he argued with this guy. Whereas your argument with this woman may be the difference between you might meet the wrong woman and y'all take it there, but it may most likely be a verbal altercation. You go outside the club with him. The consequences of you gauging their responsiveness to emotion is different. I actually have to gauge it. If I don't gauge it, that'd be the difference of my life. And they'll paint it a picture like, oh, so women, you're just judging because you have emotion. No, I'm saying there is higher consequences. Likewise, if we were a romantic partner and I found out you're a hothead, you may get me in an altercation that could lose my life. Where I get paralyzed, I get jumped, knocked out.
And she gonna leave you.
You're a hothead, you talking crazy. I have to gauge that. I have to care about your emotion. You don't necessarily have to pay attention as much for me because you're not going to be on the line to fight for me. I am on the line to fight for you. So I'm saying before we judge, our judgments don't have to be the same. Why do you have to look at me for the same things I look for you? Why can't we just look at each other different? Why can't I say, man, she's very sweet. I love that. And you say, oh, he's strong and he keeps himself calm. So I can spaz out and he's calm. And sometimes when I need someone to lean on, she's nice. That's complementarity. Being the same is saying that you should be as emotionally chill as me. You can never be that. I done played 12 years of football and basketball, and people been yelling at me my whole life. I'm just chill. I'm chilling with it. You've been grown up in a whole different culture where you with your sisters and you're warm and you're loving. It's a different culture. I can never be that. Be you, be me. Complementarity. I don't believe in similarities. I don't believe we're the same. You get what I'm saying? But we're equal value. Both is important. Mama out the house, you ruined. Kids are ruined. Daddy out the house, kids are ruined. But we're not at all the same. That's the difference between what I'm saying. Like, he's saying, like, why can't we be the same? I'm like, hell no, we can't be the same. But we can be equal in value.
And as long as we have those bridges, we will never be there to knock them down. I want you to know that. Because it just doesn't make sense. I really do feel like we can be the same. Go ahead, Christina. I want you.
I wouldn't say we can be the same but I think that
nobody agrees with me.
Accept the differences, we are able to use those to the best of our abilities to where we can both benefit.
Exactly.
But I'm done asking questions, but I will say, still from even this whole topic, I will say a woman's emotions does not negate the relevance and should not negate the relevance and how much her truth rings true to you, to what she gives to you. And I feel like that's kind of like you giving examples, and I feel you, but that's the one part I just don't necessarily agree with.
Well, let me add one thing to that. When I say even the advice of it is more so the multiple or aggregate advice of many people. So, for example, you may say women are more emotionally aware, correct? Mm-hmm. Like they're more in touch with their emotions. That's what I'm saying is that 5 girls surrounding you and then 1 man, your man, plus 5 homegirls telling you would probably equal the best balance for you. 5 girls that are emotionally aware plus 1 dude is like, whatever. And for me, I may say 5 men saying, man, stop being soft, man. Push it. And 1 woman being like, you doing good, baby. All I need. Both of them equal 100. I don't need 5 girls like, you being good. And 1 dude saying, push it. I'm like, man, I don't want to listen to you. And you don't need 5 dudes like, yeah, push it. Yeah, get strong. Yeah. And 1 girl saying like, girl, I understand. Like, come on, that ain't enough for you. That wasn't enough for me. There's not enough men pushing me. There's not enough women hugging and holding hands with you. We need different. That's what I'm saying more so when I say the same sex friendship. Ratio. Exactly. Okay. I need 90% men pushing me hard. And my woman to be the 1 woman holding it down, warm and soft. You need 90% women, the sisterhood, a bond of sisters. Mm-hmm. And you need 1 man strong, the rock. You don't need the equal. That's when we say, oh, geez, I'm like, no. Because that suggests that you would be equally okay if I had a whole bunch of homegirls, like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a Kappa. That's like I'm rocking heavy with with any other sorority as equally as I do with the Kappas. No.
I don't think that's true.
You know what I'm saying? I'm with the Kappas. I'm at the frat house with the Kappas. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna end it there. I do not agree with that. And here at the Unbiased Podcast, as you guys can tell, we had a bunch of talkers. But here at the Unbiased Podcast, where we don't judge and you shouldn't either. Yeah. This is my time.
I do. Unbiased, but I
do. You heard what he said. All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. This is part 2 that you getting because. Yeah.
They had a lot to say.
We couldn't get her to stop.
Christina was just talking so much the first time. So, thank you guys for coming. We appreciate it. If you guys would like to, give yourself a little round, say something to them before you leave.
I would just like to say this will not be my last time on here. But also thank you, Armani, for having me on the show.
Yes, thank you for the invitation, my brother. Appreciate it. Great setup, great platform, and I like what you're doing here. Love the questions, love the discussion. So thank you. Very appreciative.
Thank you guys. Shout out to my EP in the back. That's my time. We out.